Phiến chào mừng quý vị đến với chương trình Đồng tiền thông minh trên kênh truyền hình FBNC. Và trong chương trình ngày hôm nay thì chúng tôi rất hân hạnh được gặp gỡ một vị khách mời với hơn 24 năm kinh nghiệm trong lĩnh vực tài chính cá nhân cũng như là quản lý tài sản ở Úc, châu Âu cũng như là châu Á. Xin mời quý vị cùng gặp gỡ ông Godfrey Swain, là giám đốc khối ngân hàng bán lẻ của ngân hàng VAB. Hello, very nice to see you.
Hi, good morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Data from World Bank shows that only 1/3 of Vietnamese adults have bank accounts until 2015. So, do you agree that Vietnamese market has a lot of potential, a lot of room to grow?
I think, first of all, good morning and thank you for inviting us to the show. I think if I had to choose one banking market in the world where I would want to be at this point in time, it is actually Vietnam. And the reason is because there is so much potential in here in banking and in many other industries. The future is very, very exciting. So Vietnam is a country with a population of 90 million people. The bulk of the population are young, highly engaged with work, engaged with automation, engaged with IT. People who are looking forward to a great future.
Yeah.
As you pointed out, only about 1/3 of the whole population actually has a bank account. And in actual fact, even from those 1/3, a relatively small proportion really use a bank in the way it's used in the West.
It doesn't mean that you have a bank account, that you use the bank.
Just having one bank account doesn't mean actually using a bank.
Sure.
A bank has so many different products that we consider a bank to be a customer, to be a full customer when they have access to many different banking products and are making full use of a bank's products and services to make their life easier, to make their life better, basically.
Okay, so such great potentials.
Yes, enormous potential. I think it's a very exciting market.
Also from another data, coming from the government of Vietnam, shows that while the corporate banking grew very rapidly since 1990s, the retail banking hasn't done that. So is it true that the corporate banking is much more attractive compared to the retail banking?
Yeah, I think most banking around the world focuses on three main areas: corporate banking, retail banking, and what we would call investment banking or markets. In Vietnam, corporate banking took off a while back as Vietnamese businesses started to take off, started to use banks in a big way. The public has been slower to follow in the footsteps of the corporate companies, but that is also rapidly changing. And frankly, I believe that the future for retail banking is very, very big in Vietnam. Vietnam is still pretty much a cash society. A lot of transactions are still made in cash. And I know that there is a big push from every quarter of the country, from government to businesses to payroll, for more people to use banks in a much more significant manner. So basically move away from cash and start to use bank services, use cards, use bank payment services. And as more and more people join the banking sector, it actually becomes much easier for everyone. It becomes easier for government, becomes easier for the public, and becomes easier for business. Basically, the role of banks in society really is to facilitate business. Facilitate business for corporates and facilitate business for consumers, for the general public. And that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, so as an expert in the field, with vast experience worldwide, what do you think of the specific reason that make retail banking in Vietnam not as developed as expected by?
I think it's simply a question of people's general wealth and the development of the country. Vietnam is developing at a very, very fast pace at the moment.
Sure.
I've been in Vietnam 4 years, and I've seen huge changes in these last 4 years, and they are mainly changes for the better. So every year I see major improvements. Although the economy for the last 4 years has maybe not been as robust as one would have liked, yet there have been certain fundamental changes where we see a reduction in inflation. We see an improvement in the balance of payments. We see wealth generally increasing year after year. And so as wealth increases, the demand by the public for banking services, the demand for insurance services, and related financial matters will increase. I should say as well, banking at the moment is still relatively basic. So retail banking is still really focused upon deposits and lending.
Sure.
But obviously, banking is far more than that. Retail banking eventually will include credit cards, which are starting to take off. So the number of people using debit and credit cards for daily transactions rather than using cash is increasing significantly. The number of people using bank payment services, so VIB, for instance, offers a large range of very sophisticated electronic payment services, which are very, very popular with our customers.
Okay.
That is also increasing very significantly from pretty much day to day, year to year. So all of these elements will build to a much bigger retail banking field, which will eventually also include wealth management products.
Okay, I can see there are a lot of kind of issues that you and VIB have to try your best to address.
Yeah, I would say VIB is a Vietnamese bank which is really aiming to reach international standards. And I think we are already there.
Yeah.
There's a level of transparency, we're trying to make banking simple. We're trying to make banking affordable and easy to understand.
Okay.
So basically, as a bank, VIB's goal is to be customer-centric, so we put the customer at the center of everything that we do, and the customer really is the be-all and end-all for VIB. So one, being customer-centric and being innovative in the way we approach banking to make it fun and exciting and useful for people. Basically, it's about adding value.
Okay, so one of the efforts of making things easier for consumer is the mega program that I heard a lot recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Which has officially been launched since early May, right?
Yes. So,
so what is the first thing that people must see when they heard about mega program?
So I think when people see mega, people ask me, what does mega mean? Mega means that we're trying to do something different in the way we approach the marketing of our products and services. So we have identified those key products that we believe the general public in Vietnam really want. And what most people want here? They want to have transparency in pricing.
Definitely.
They want to have value in pricing. They want to be sure that a bank is there with kind of no tricks, if I may say that what we say is what we mean, and everything is 100% transparent, easy to understand, and most important, the public want value.
Okay.
So what we have done with Mega is to identify the 4 most popular products, which in our case, one is the group of lending products for mortgages, auto loans, that is car loans, and what we call secure consumer loans, which are day-to-day loans that the public will take maybe to renovate their home or generally improve their lifestyle. Obviously, to buy a car and to buy, most of all, a home. Vietnamese people, like people all over the world, their main goal is to buy a home. And what we're doing is to facilitate that by giving people a really good rate, one of the best rates on the market, and not just by having an easy low rate in the beginning, but low rate for the lifetime of the loan. And most importantly, a rate that is easy to understand, that's based upon a 12-month term deposit, plus a margin where everything is published, everything is transparent, everything is very simple.
As a normal consumer, how can I approach those kind of programs?
Well, easy. I mean,
how can I see it is so advantageous for me?
Yeah, I mean, you will see the advantages, first of all, from the lending side, from the rates that we are advertising.
Interest rates.
Yeah, and the interest rate, I must be clear on this. We are offering a very, very good interest rate for the first year, 6.68%, which in this market is very, very low.
Okay.
But more importantly, the long-term rate is also very affordable. So after the first year, we will simply charge a 12-month deposit rate, which is published, very clear, very transparent, and a margin of 3.99 on top of that. And this makes it, by Vietnamese standards, very, very affordable rate.
Okay.
In addition to the interest rates on loans, and we've kept the same rate for all the products, by the way, so everything is very simple, very easy.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we also have special offers on debit cards, which a debit card is the card that is most used by all consumers.
Sure.
On credit cards,
Yes.
and also on transaction accounts. Obviously, a transaction account, your current account is the bread and butter of banking.
Thank you very much. We'll get back to this after a short break to talk more about the credit issues in Vietnam.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Vâng, kính thưa quý vị, vừa rồi chúng ta vừa có cuộc trò chuyện cùng ông Godfrey Swain là giám đốc khối ngân hàng bán lẻ của ngân hàng VIB, và chúng ta sẽ quay trở lại sau ít phút giải lao.